We got along, my life was real sunny, but only one thing would ruin our fun. I know you love me, but you worship money, and you got mad when I offered you none. Where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and I thought I'd found true love. You met another and you was gone.
Okay, you guys, I just couldn't resist putting that song in there, talking about overalls. So, um, comment below if you even know what that is. My dad made us watch that show when I was growing up, and that song will be stuck in my head forever. So, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of comic relief and walk down memory lane. Before we get into today's video, I wanted to let you know about a new service I'm offering to help eBay sellers. You've probably heard me mention several times that I live in Atlanta, and we have an incredible abundance of inventory here in our thrift stores. Not only are the thrift stores gigantic, but we have so many of them, and it's really overwhelming. This is one of the reasons I've stuck with eBay for so long and have been successful at it, is because I have access to a great supply of high quality inventory. But I know others of you don't have that luxury. So over the years, I've heard a lot of your pains about your struggles selling on eBay related to inventory issues, such as you might live in a rural area and you just don't have much to choose from. You're not finding the brands that are good sellers or that are high profit items. Or your thrift store prices are too high. You may live in a small town and there's only a couple of thrift stores and the prices are too high and you just can't make a profit. You could be working full time, trying to transition to eBay full time in your retirement or pre-retirement, or you're wanting to stay home with your kids, or you're wanting to leave that soul-sucking job, whatever it is, and you're trying to get your eBay store built up. And you don't have the time it takes to go find inventory locally. It's hard because that does take a chunk of time every week to go and select inventory to resell. Or maybe you're disabled or you have health issues and it's hard for you to get out and shop. I mean, there's a lot of people with that issue to deal with, and it's difficult. It's physically hard to get out there and stand and do this for hours and hours. I understand that. I've also heard that, from the caregivers, your time is not your own, whether you've got small children or you're caring for a spouse or a parent or another family member. Your time is just not your own, and that can really affect the time you put into your business and the time it takes to go get inventory. Or you could just want another way to get high quality profitable inventory shipped to your door. People are always looking for more ways to get good inventory. Another thing I hear is that you might want to get into selling women's clothing but aren't sure of what brands to pick. So I have come up with a solution. Hearing all of these struggles for all these years I've been out here helping eBay sellers, and put together reseller lots. So let me tell you a little bit about how this works, and you might want to give this a try, see if you like it. These lots are specifically designed for the at-home eBay reseller. The lot contains 11 items with a minimum of one new with tag item. As I get better at doing this faster and refining the process, that may change. Might be more new with tag items in there. But this is the starting point. You're going to get popular brands, whether they're trending or just dependable brands that have stood the test of time, that have worked for me. And I've been doing this for 15 years, selling women's clothing, so I know what to pick. So, for example, this lot here, it has Ann Taylor, Chico's, Fila, tennis skirt, Free People, J. Jill, Madewell, Michael Kors, Talbot's, White House Black Market. So you can see there's a good variety of different brands there. It's not all going to be, Anthropologie and Vineyard Vines and these trending brands that are popular right now, because a lot of the brands that have been around for even 50 years still sell well if they're good high quality brands like LL Bean, Orvis, Land's End. Those types of brands do well for me. So you can see that you get a good mix there. Also, the listing explains exactly what you get: the brand name, what the item is, any design elements, the size, what it's made of, and the color, because all of those factor into the sellability and the profitability of the item. The items are clean and ready to list. So that's a time saver for you right there. I'm not going to send you dirty, crappy stuff. I guarantee that. Now, the lot size takes into account the shipping weight. Some people have said, why don't you put more in the lot? Well, I want to make it affordable for you. So most of these weigh between 4 and 6 pounds, and I do offer both priority and parcel select, so that if you want to, choose the cheaper option, and it's shipped in a heavyweight poly mailer bag instead of a box to keep that shipping price down for you. So I've thought about that. The price per item, if you divide it out, comes out to be about $4.50. So most of these items are going to sell for $20 or more. So, like if you get a Chico size 3 item in there, those sell for $29 all the time. Madewell, that sells for $29. So you're going to get stuff that sells for more, but that's what I'm going for there. Also, I'm putting this on eBay rather than selling direct from my website, because I want you to have the peace of mind of that third-party recourse through eBay or PayPal if you need it. And I could just put it on Facebook and sell it that way, but I want this to be done through eBay so that if there is a problem, you have the peace of mind knowing that we'll get it corrected. But you guys know me. If there's ever a problem or anything wrong, you just tell me and I fix it. So we really don't have to worry about that anyway, but I want you to have that peace of mind and that backup there. Also, I personally hand select and inspect every item. So this is not some huge operation with a bunch of people just throwing clothes in a box. It's well thought out. Everything is selected because it's going to sell on eBay. So not only are you getting great items to sell, but you're getting my expertise in choosing the items, and this is also going to save you time. Now remember, I've been a clothing seller on eBay since 2003, and this is what I know. So if you examine the contents of the lots, these are all brands and items that I've talked about in my videos, on my blog, in my courses. You can look through my feedback and see them. They're on my Pinterest Look What I Sold board. I post them on Money Making Mondays. So I'm putting my expertise into this service to help you make money. Also, let's go look at my feedback real quick, just so you can see. I have been testing this concept and gotten feedback from some sellers who have purchased the lots, and all the feedback is positive, so you can look through that. So I just wanted to let you know about this in case you hadn't heard about it on my Facebook group. If you're looking for a new way to get high quality inventory quickly from a trusted source, from an experienced professional, check this out. It could help you take your business to the next level and help you make more money. So if you have any questions, let me know. And now we're going to get into today's video. Okay, so let's talk about overalls. I usually think about this in the fall, so here we are in mid-September, and if we go back to my blog from October of 2013, I'm talking about overalls there. They've always been a good seller for me. Good seller meaning consistent, not hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but something that's consistent. I think in the fall you get a little bit more of a bump there because people use them for their yard decorations or their fall photos, put the overalls on, take the kids to the pumpkin patch, that kind of thing. So this has been one of those tried and true things. Now, if we go look at something more current, Here is a fashion blog called Coming Up Roses, and she's talking about the overalls fashion trend and how grown-ups should wear them. She says overalls are back at it again, as are jean skirts circa Hollister 2006. I mean, they always say fashion is cyclical, but as soon as I saw they were back, my first thought was, yeah, hi, is there a guide to how to wear overalls as a grown woman? I was down to try the trend, but not down to look 10 again. So, anyway, this was in March of 2018, so pretty current. And then she's got a lot of cute pictures of her wearing the overalls as a grown up person. Another thing you can look at to identify trends are the consignment stores like Uptown Cheapskate, Plato's Closet, those kind of places that have actual lists of what they're looking for, because they want to sell the trending clothes. They want to turn over their stuff. They have limited floor space, so they don't want their inventory sitting there for months and months. They want what's current, what people are buying, so they can turn it over. So if you go to their sites and look up their what's in demand type of thing, we go to Uptown Cheapskate here. This is the spring and summer 2018. They have not updated it for fall yet, but not only do they give you the Pantone colors, which is important for trending items to know what colors are hot, they tell you the styles. And we go down here, we see overalls are on their list of an item that is in demand that they want people to bring in so they can resell it and make their money. So again, if you go to Uptown Cheapskate or Plato's Closet or any of these consignment stores that have lists of what they want and study the trending styles and colors, then you're going to be up on the trends and knowing what to pick to resell. So let's go over to eBay and take a look at the listings and see what kind of prices you can get for different brands. If we just put in denim overalls, and I did narrow that down to denim because it's a pretty huge category when you just put overalls. So we're looking at specifically denim. We've got 18,976 results, and that's including all clothing. So that's including kids as well. Because you can find those pretty cheap and you can flip those. The Oshkosh and Levi's and kids overalls sell pretty well all the time too. So let's go look at the sold listings, and I'm going to choose only pre-owned condition because that's what you're most likely going to find out there when you're thrifting. So we've got 3,500 sold items. So that's not a huge oversaturated market. It's not like blue jeans or tunics or it's not oversaturated is what I'm saying. There's room for you to get some sales. Now, if we go through, we pass by these outliers, which are the super high-end brands. Who knew that Louis Vuitton made overalls, but they do. And you may find some of these higher priced ones once you start looking for them. Another thing about overalls is sometimes the thrift stores have them in a specific area, like with the dresses, because they're longer. So they're pretty easy to just spot real quick if you're limited on time in the thrift store. Other times they'll be folded over and hung up with the jeans. So you just have to figure out how your thrift store displays them. Okay, here's a hot brand right now, Madewell. This pair of overalls went for $150 in used condition. Okay. Let me pick up some other brands that you've heard of. Here's Levi's. These are white denim. Those went for $125. I've sold them for as high as $60. It just depends on the size and the brand. Here's another Madewell. 7 for All Mankind. Those are kind of higher end brands, but I wanted to show you, your basic Levi's or Lee or, not necessarily Walmart brands, but not the super high-end stuff that you may not see in your area. Here's a vintage Tommy Hilfiger that went for 89. And let's jump ahead a little bit here so you can see some more realistic selling prices for the mainstream group here. Hudson Page, those are higher end brands. Now here's a Madewell shorty overalls that went for 65. And what's funny is, like, if you look at these, they don't look really special. You know, they're out there blended in that sea of denim and blue jeans, and you wouldn't know. Um, just it's the basic overalls, stone washed, pockets, and there's your Madewell tag. That's what makes it expensive, is the brand. So this is one of those hiding in plain sight kind of things that you just have to be aware to look for because they're out there. Um, let's see, here's another Tommy, vintage Tommy. Carhartt, that is a great brand to sell. Um, they make rugged work wear, ranch wear, farm wear, stuff like that for people that really have rugged jobs that are going to tear up their clothing. Carhartt stuff is great. It's very durable. It lasts a long time, and you can see here that, good resale value. 40 bucks for a pair of overalls. Let's see some other brands that you might actually come across. Here is Dkny, which is Donna Karan, New York. These went for $71. Again, if we look at them, we'll see that they're just pretty plain. Nothing too spectacular about them. They're going to be sitting right next to the Lee and the Levi's and the Walmart brands. I mean, nothing super spectacular about that. Just your basic denim overalls that went for 72 bucks with free shipping. So that's something you might find. Here's a Levi's cropped mom style. Best offer accepted, so we don't know what that went for. Let's see what else. Lots of Tommy Hilfiger brand, vintage Calvin Klein denim overalls. Those went for $59 plus $10 shipping. Here's some more Madewell, Tommy Hilfiger, Hollister. You get the idea there. So let's skip ahead a little bit more, and still good prices. Vintage Guess, vintage Calvin Klein. Here's one called American Apparel. That's out of Australia. Levi's went for $40.57. That one's out of United Kingdom. Let's see what else. Free People. I'm seeing more and more of that Free People. That used to be one of those great things to find that you could sell right away, that there just wasn't that much of it, but I'm seeing a lot more of that now. Okay, let's see what else. We've got lots of vintage overalls. So those are coming back. If you see those out there, I guess folks are cleaning out, downsizing, donating, and all of their vintage clothing is showing up in the thrift stores for us. Okay, here is, let me sort this to US only, because we're getting a lot of international stuff on there, and I know most of you are not outside of the US, so that's not going to help you much. Okay, and let's pick, got pre-owned chosen. Okay, Gap. Now, Gap is not a brand that I normally look for that has much resale value, but look at these overalls. They sold for for 50 bucks basically, plus shipping. So overalls are kind of the exception to the rule as far as brands, because stuff you might not normally look for in everything else may have a higher dollar value in overalls. There's another vintage Guess shorty overalls. Here's another Gap. Free People. Vintage Calvin Klein. A lot of those showing up. Okay, so you get the idea. Here's Carhartt, those went for 50. Here's another Gap that went for 50. Um, American Eagle. So maybe you don't do jeans, but you could do overalls. Look for that. That's an item that you're not going to find all the time, but when you do, you may get a pretty good price for it. How much should you pay? Well, that's going to depend on the profit you're going to get. So I'll pay a little bit more for overalls. Sometimes they are priced up to $8 or $10, but if comps show that they can sell for 50 or 60, that's worth it to me. And people wear these year round, just not for fashion, just because they're comfortable and they like them. I go back to my days of living on the farm, and everybody up there wore overalls all the time, and that's just what they wore because that's what they had always worn. So farmers like them. People who work on a farm or a ranch or outdoors, they like them. So put that on your look for list, and I'd love to hear your comments below. Have you sold overalls? Did you know about this? Are you going to look for them now? Let me know your comments. Thanks for watching, and have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.